it's early May. The spring season is coming to a close, but not quite yet, Pete.
It was almost felt like winter this past weekend.
A lot of strange weather to be had.
A lot of strange things happened, so maybe that had something to do with it. But
the times they are changing indeed. Well, Talking Sports is here, and I'm Greg Selber. Of course, this is Pete Pettis. Here to talk about the softball. We're down to a couple of Valley teams, and the baseball is getting interesting because we're passed by district, and some of the pretenders have fallen by the wayside.
it's where it really starts counting. What people would say, and there's the matchups are going to happen. Old district rivals, and it should be nice. You also got to see some football.
I did. I went out to see the Vela SaberCats, and my first report would be that I believe that they look better than they did last year. All the kids that were there, 95% of them are back. You can tell who's been lifting. There's some big kids. I think it's going to be promising, man. Really,
the only way is up with that team, man.
Well, that's right. They were winless last year in the first year, and I don't know. I like the mood. The coaching staff intact. And they did get another coordinator on offense. We're going to find out. This is early.
Sure.
You're just starting out.
Yeah, sure.
But for a team that is going into its second year, I don't know. I thought their defense looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
They've got a good running back. So I mean, we'll find out. What we're trying to do is get around and see every team a couple of times during the spring. Teams that are having spring football.
Sure.
I'll tell you this: there's a kid, Ronnie Benavides, going to be a senior as a defensive back for Vela. He's gotten big. He's gotten really big, and he's still got wheels. He was in track. This guy's going to have a big season, I think. Same with Justin Revilla, who's a linebacker. Kind of a short for a linebacker. He can't be about 5'7" or 8", but he's really muscular. He's a hard-hitting kid. I like him a lot. And then finally, again on defense, Rico Alfaro, 78. He was an offensive lineman and defensive lineman last year. They stole him all the way to the defensive side, 100% this year. He's active in the middle. I feel like Vela's defense in the beginning will carry that team while the offense kind of learns how to do things. We're still looking at the offensive line for Vela to see who's going to come up. Because that was, everybody in that camp will tell you last year, that was, I don't even say a weak point, but it was something that all first-year teams struggle with, interior line play.
Sure, and not only that, I mean, you have doing literally everything new. And you've never done it, so, I mean, it's going to go bad. I mean, if it goes good, you're like some kind of...
It's lucky, yeah. Or you're fortunate.
Yeah.
I will say this, because I was there at those first workouts last year. And they look a lot more together. They look a lot more drilled. I mean, there's not a lot of deer in the headlight stuff.
Sure.
Michael Salinas and those guys,
They've spent a year together.
That's right. So nothing's really new. The only thing new is the opportunity for 2013 here. No, I feel like they'll be in the mix somewhere. I was impressed with them.
Nice. We definitely will get out to some spring ball games. I know McAllen has theirs coming up.
All the McAllen schools have spring football. We got to get on the stick. We're going to go. We're going to be there.
Definitely.
Sharyland.
Sharyland's got one too. Yes, we'll get out to those four indeed.
Maybe we'll even take some video.
Yeah.
You never know.
Softball though, you saw a couple of games.
Softball was tough.
Kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, when you're used to your teams going through the Sweet 16 and beyond, or they like to think beyond, to see each of the Edinburgh schools drop out at this stage before the Sweet 16 was a little surprising. Edinburgh High had the tough situation where you play one game at Harlingen South. So you rank number 1 in the Valley, 20 in the state. You steam through everybody, and because of the flips or you play on the road for a one-game shot. I still thought they had a chance to beat them. They started Sammy Asiba, which raised some eyebrows because she's been off and on the mound because of some various injuries. They put Miranda back in center field, and when they do that, they're always better on defense. So that's not a debit. Sammy pitched pretty well. There's be some people that tell you that she gave up 10 hits. I'll tell you this: 4 or 5 of them were absolute garbage. I mean, we're talking about dying flares, ducks, little dribblers. They did not hit her all over the lot. They managed 5 runs. What I was afraid of came to pass is that Edinburgh could not score with them. They only lost 5-2, but they never really got. They didn't bunch hits together. They didn't pound the ball very well. Miranda Hinojosa was 0 for 4. I think Sammy got a hit. Z had 1 hit. Nobody had a terrific game.
Gotcha.
And you kind of have to have somebody, no matter who it is, have a terrific game at that level. Because if not, South played well. You know why South won the ball game? Their infield was unbelievable. Edinburgh High had some sharp grounders. South picked them every time.
All the time.
Made the throws every time. Lily Laux on the mound, Stephanie Lugo at short. They just played a little better. I think I had a 3-game series. We turned around and play the next day. Who knows? But they didn't.
Doubleheader.
South goes on, and that's all she wrote, man. Yeah. How strange to see the Bobcats lose in this round because they've been to the Sweet 16 3 years in a row. I mean, it really, And then those girls were upset after the game. But, you know, the fans and the parents, I think, might have been even more upset, if that makes any sense. Because they're really heavily invested, man.
They really are.
Oh.
And you can tell when you go to a Bobcat game,
They're hardcore
they
fans,
really are.
man.
They're. I mean, how's the nice? They're nuts, but they're
They
fanatics. You know what I mean? That's
just
that's
like
where
San Benito, just like
that's where the word comes from. Fanatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, truly fanatics.
Yeah.
Now, on the other one, Edinburgh North they could have won that first game. You know, they ended up losing 3-2. They had a lead, had a couple of errors down the stretch. When it came to play on Saturday, the first shot out of the box, San Benito scores 4 runs. I mean, it was just the balloon, pop. But in the bottom of the first, Faith Escobar, the Sublime Faith, as I call her, 2-run homer, started the rally. A couple of innings later, she hit a grand slam. Faith had 2 home runs her first 2 at bats. She just pounded the ball. But they couldn't stop San Benito from scoring. It was 10-6 after 3 innings. It was like a football game. The North missed the extra point, you know. Jackie Chapo knocked out in the third. And who of all people comes in to pitch and throws a 3-hit ball, gave up 1 run over 4? Faith Escobar. So let me tell you, man, we're going to go a ways in this valley before we see a player the likes of her. And of course, she's not the only player North has, but boy, on the big stage, they finally lost 11-9. She did everything she needed to do. The only thing is, they came up in the 7th, only 2 down, and all 3 kids popped up, Faith included. I want to tell you that she did everything perfectly because she was the last hitter. And you know what they were doing? They were overswinging on this gal at San Benito.
Trying to kill it.
Just a little bit too much. They knocked Amber Hasso out the game in the 2nd inning, and you know they love that because those kids, I'm not saying Amber and them hate each other, but it's real edgy.
Yeah.
I mean, Amber's a big talker, and I love that kid. She's cool, but she's a big talker, man. So are the San Benito people. They were, when they went up 4-0, man, they were loud and they were jeering and just handing it to the North fans. And you could tell that a couple of football players were about to go over there and have a discussion. Luckily, North came back, made a game of it. San Benito just played better. They got more hits. I think they got 15 hits. That's a lot. And they couldn't get it done. So North is done. EHS is done. We're moving on now with some pretty interesting series, aren't we?
We are.
Harlingen South survives, and who are they going to play?
South has a
LBJ.
Yeah.
No, we were thinking this was going to be Edinburgh High and who?
Who's the other team?
Edinburgh High and Los Fresnos.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Los Fresnos went out. Edinburgh High went out. So now you're looking at a very winnable game for South. They're a good softball team. I wouldn't say that they are a notch below the teams that finished ahead of them, but this is the playoffs. Who knows? They're playing well. LBJ is going to turn into a pumpkin. Okay?
And what if you get this flip again? You know what I mean? 1 game series or something like that. I mean,
1 gamers are hard, man.
They should. If it's 1 game, it should all be 1 game.
Right.
I mean, or just do this all series.
I feel like a 1 game series. If you got an Ileana Hinojosa pitched for North several years ago, then ride the 1 game. But if you got EHS on the other hand with Sammy and Miranda, they want to play 3 all the time because they're consistent, they're solid, they got 2 pitchers. You know, I think South's going to beat LBJ. LBJ is one of these teams that I didn't think they're going to beat Sharyland.
Yeah.
I didn't think they're going to beat Los Fresnos. You think they're going to take out South too? Maybe they're one of those teams of destiny. I don't know, man.
Well, it was cold last weekend, man. So maybe. Yeah. So.
I'll tell you this: they better get it. They better get this one because next is either Smithson Valley or Holmes. Holmes is the team that beat North in the Sweet 16 last year, so it may be the end of the road for them. Meanwhile, San Benito, I don't know who was the team that the first girls softball team in Valley history to win a game at the regional tournament. San Benito. So now they're back to within a step away, and they play Eagle Pass. That's a good team.
Yeah.
I saw them lose to Edinburgh High last year in the playoffs, but I thought, and they were young, I thought that's going to be a good team. That's going to be a killer series right there.
There you go.
Eagle Pass, someone's having a birthday next door. I don't know if you can hear him sing. It's good.
Our boss.
Oh, our boss. Well, happy birthday to you. Eagle Pass beat Vela, and they beat Porter, which I thought was, I don't know, that was a good series. But they took them out, man.
Sure.
Porter didn't trifle with them. So that was surprising. A win against a good Porter team sets them up. Now it's going to be San Benito. Now, looming in the wings is O'Connor or New Braunfels Canyon. You could probably write down O'Connor because they got that, that Swiss rowing boxing team. Chicks are all like 5'11" blondes, so
Yeah.
I don't think anybody beats them. But who can say who's going to do what? But we're down to 2. Strangely enough.
Yeah, man, probably won't be. I don't know. I hate to predict these kind of things, but let's.
If I had to say, I think South might have a better chance to win against LBJ. Although San Benito is pesky. They're pesky. sometimes they can win games just because they're cockier and kind of meaner than the other team.
Sure.
I mean, they're hardcore, man.
Yeah, and I mean, they are hardcore. They're gritty.
In everything.
I mean,
In
they
everything.
really are. They're gonna stay there and just keep fighting.
I've been at San Benito football games in the past where if the referee made a bad call, people are throwing coins out of the stands at him. It's unbelievable, you know. You have to wear a football helmet when you're taking pictures, you know. No, I wish them both well. I have a bad feeling about Eagle Pass. I think they're gonna win, but
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe not. Now, what about baseball? We're doing good.
Baseball is about to get a little bit exciting. You know, Sharyland and Mac High.
Hey, man.
Mac High, they've been on a roller coaster.
Yes,
all
they
year.
have. And
And it's tough to be, well, you know, this is going to be Sharyland. It's going to be Sharyland. all
everybody's
the way.
predicting Sharyland.
Sure, of course everybody's predicting Sharyland. Wow, who's beat them?
Right.
You know what I mean?
29-1.
Yeah.
What's gonna have to happen for Mac Allen to, now some of these kids are playing good for Mac Allen. Roman Silva, my boy from the football team, that guy's tough, man. Chris Zuniga doing
I got
good.
3 players here.
Mhm.
Chris Zuniga's one of them,
Mhm.
batting 397.
Mhm.
397.
That's
That's
a
a good
good
number.
average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got 31 hits, 12 doubles. They're going to need to bring these kind of
They gotta
numbers.
hit, yes.
They really are.
They gotta hit.
Because those dudes, they go on a roller coaster. You'll be like, man, that guy's doing really good. Then all of a sudden, you'll hear
Right.
something like blown out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can't do that against Sharyland.
No, this is it, man. They're gonna have their best effort each night they play. So maybe they can do it. They got a couple of pretty good pitchers. This kid Jacob came in, Guzman, and did a pretty good job. 5 shutout innings. So along with the other guy.
And Chris Zuniga pitches well as well.
So they got enough arms. Does that mean they go 3 games? So we haven't. This is Monday. We don't know quite what the. But we're gonna find out. Probably just when we get off the air, then we'll find out. That's all right. Now what about Sharyland now? You know they've gotten past the first round.
What isn't there to say about Sharyland?
Well, they've got past the first round, and in the past, a couple of times, you know, they had struggled or stumbled or had trouble. I don't know, man. Maybe they're getting ready to go a ways. Maybe they're getting ready to go a long way. They're gonna have to. Who they have to play? United down the road, huh? But first, who? PSGA plays Alexander, not United. United's got who? Oh, Weslaco.
That's
Boy,
right.
Weslaco better look out, man. Weslaco. But Weslaco's gotten it together. Remember
Yeah.
at the beginning
They
we said,
have.
no, they're solid. They're
Yeah,
traditional
no,
team.
it's going to shape down. The next round should be very fun and exciting, just to say the least. Obviously, the teams are getting better. You know, you're weeding them out as they go along,
Yeah.
but it's going to make some good baseball games.
I think Sharyland's a prohibitive favorite over Mac Allen unless Mac Allen can have one of those games of the year where they really hit the ball well and get a great pitching effort. It can be done. Sharyland's not the 76 Reds. I mean, you know, they're a great team. So go out and play a little bit.
But you got to play them and not be intimidated like everybody else.
We've seen it too many times this year that you go
They're good.
out.
They're just good, and everybody knows they're good. That's
Right.
the problem.
And he goes out and it's first inning and it seemed like it's 4-0 already, even though he ain't thrown a pitch. You know, it's kind of the way Harlingen used to be in football. You'd be down 7-0 before you finish stretching because they're just that intimidating and you know they're going to kick your butt. So.
And you knew they were good for touchdowns.
Right.
Plural touchdowns. Which these guys, I mean, these guys are hitting the ball. I mean, there's no other way around it. They're going to need their best effort.
Hey, Pancho Martinez pitched, huh? You think Trace will pitch the first game against Mac Allen?
I don't know. I would see Pancho maybe. But
Hey, as long as you got 2, that's all you need. You don't need 3.
that's what it is.
2.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Now,
and I don't want to write off Mac High, but I mean, the numbers are there.
The numbers are there. The prediction is that, you know, everyone's picking Sharyland to win. Boy, wouldn't it be neat if Mac Allen gave him a struggle? You know what I mean? Or somehow forced
Because everybody roots for the underdog.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I saw these guys over here today, man. People wandering around Mac Allen campus. I bet they're fired up.
Yeah.
I know they want to play Sharyland.
I'm going to tell you why they're fired up, because 3 guys are signing today. Off that team.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. It's actually JC, Chris Zuniga, and Emilio Guerra.
Emilio, where's he going?
They're I forget the school, but they're all doing junior college. Yeah,
Nice.
Getting ready. Yeah.
You know, there was a time when Mac Allen had an amazing baseball program. I think they're back to their old tricks too. I mean, for a while
They have a great coach.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, he's legendary here. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, what else can you say? I don't know. This should be a good game.
What about Hannah? Eagle Pass. See, Eagle Pass is one of the only team that has both their girls and boys teams still alive. I thought Hannah's not bad, you know.
Yeah.
The only team that won out of 32.
There you go.
31 had a good run of it, didn't they?
Yeah.
3 out of 4.
Yeah.
And over in 30, boy, we had a hard time. I mean, it was only Sharyland.
Man, what happened to Edinburgh North, man?
Well, they scored a couple of runs early and then just got bum rushed from there and never recovered. Lost in 6. You don't want to lose in the playoffs in 6. You can't get run ruled in the playoffs, man. You know, that team just didn't really have the mojo the last 3 or 4 weeks. They were one of the best teams in the Valley for 2 months. I don't know quite know what to tell you because they just didn't perform that well. There's no problem with the team losing a few close ones, but they got their butts beat pretty good 2 or 3 times at the end. It's like, are we ready to play? Still a heck of a team. They're going to have some guys back for next year. Fernie Contreras, I thought had a great year, and you know, sometimes it happens, man. Once you get in a little bit of a slide, once you start kind of second guessing yourself, things can go down poorly. And they made the playoffs first time in 4 years. Now they got to redouble their efforts and get back, and they got to win the series next year. All right, we'll see what they do.
There you go.
Who else is there? Well, PSJ Alexander.
Yeah.
Well, that's tough. Alexander's a team that beat North. They score a lot of runs. They're good athletes. Surely they will not beat PSJ. I believe PSJ is good enough to win this series. I mean, speaking of pitching and some hitters, they had a guy, Joey Goddard, hit 2 homers the other night in the game. So I feel like if things work out the way they're supposed to, the Bears will probably beat Alexander. Although, if you notice in Valley Sports, Alexander is always one of those teams where they surprise you. You're like, that dang Alexander, they did to Weslaco in football. You name it, basketball, they beat a couple of teams, kind of like
Memorial and then football.
That's right. So and in fact, I hate to see them coming because they're big game players. For some reason, and Alexander.
They like the spotlight.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They're good players. I think PSJ wins. I say probably Sharyland wins. United's going to beat Weslaco, I believe. Although, hey man, I'd love to see the Panthers win. I have no great love for United. And Hannah and Eagle Pass, that to me is the toss-up. I cannot tell you. I know Hannah's been, one of the better teams down there in 32. They've gotten some good performances, scored a lot of runs in the 2 playoff games by district. So we shall see. I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah, it's going to be a great round. Definitely, just one more weekend closer to state. Hopefully, somebody's got to get to the tournament. Sharyland has to represent. What do you think?
Sharyland, I believe, will. This is not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but I think they'll withstand some blows from Matt County, and they'll probably get it done. And if they don't, I'll be the first one to say congratulations to the Bulldogs. That's the great thing about being in the media. What do we care? We care, but we don't care. I told you I was going here bragging a lot. I told you they were going to beat them.
But that's our job to do that. Yeah, that's why it's kind of fun.
Guys, getting toward the end. I'm waiting for the soccer all-district team. Have you seen them?
No, I haven't. No. One last thing before we sign off. I was at the golf meet tournament.
Yeah, man.
State
Pretty
tournament. Sharyland girls. You know what? Not a single senior on that team.
Wow. Nice.
And they went and placed 6th place.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, who was the kid? They got a kid finished.
Sabina Pena. She finished tied 4th. She shot lights out. She was 1 back going into the 2nd day.
Nice.
Through the 8th hole, she was in 1st place.
Wow.
But
what a feeling that must be.
You know,
out in front of God and everybody at the state.
A sophomore.
Right.
A sophomore.
People are probably like, oh wow, look at her go. That's fantastic.
And you say that, and people were like that. You know who was like that? The coach from TCU. The coach from Texas. The coach from A&M.
She's what, 12? Can I have her in 4 years?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those coaches were all there hanging out.
And you have a big meet like that when they're watching you, and all you got to do is maintain, and you're going to be going to college for free.
Yeah.
That's a good lady.
She really
Congratulations
is.
to her.
She really is. No injuries.
Is
nothing.
Is she a long hitter? Or she just real consistent.
She knocks it, and she's real consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. For her size, she's tiny too. She's not big. Yeah. And she whips that ball.
Isn't that crazy though? And I don't know a lot about golf. I never played in my life. I used to drive the cart every now and then for my buddies in college. I took care of the cooler, Cokes. So little guys can hit the ball a long way. It seems counterintuitive. How can that little thing pound that ball? Big guys you see sometimes, they can't get unlimbered. And
It's the lankiness. You're able to whip your body around faster. So this guy's cheering because he's lanky.
Oh, okay. Well, he is lanky. Yeah, you've never seen him. It's hard to see. He's so lanky. So you like golf, don't you?
I do. Yeah. Try to play. Yeah. It is windy. That's one of the advantages they had. They were able to control the ball a lot more. If there was a slight breeze, because there wasn't much of a breeze. It was a really nice day. It was at Morris Williams.
I know where that is. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. And she just played lights out. She had 2 unlucky holes, and that's what she finished 2 back, 2 strokes back.
But as a sophomore.
But San Antonio Johnson, Taylor Coleman, birdied out the last 3 holes to win the tournament. She shot a 67.
That's like making your free throws at the end.
That tournament did not get handed to her. She won it. She went out and won it.
How old is she?
She was a senior.
Yes, good. Now.
Yeah. So,
now what's her name comes in and wins.
So yeah, and then on a little side note, they snuck in the boys for a playoff, for 2nd place because they were going to give a medal.
Yeah.
So they're following us. There's 3 holes on hole 12 is a par 3.
Yeah.
Lake Travis.
Lake Travis.
Lake Travis. There was 2 from Lake Travis and 1 from the Woodlands.
Oh God, man.
For
Yes, well, please carry my bag.
for second place. The first 2 guys go up, get it close. The third guy, hole in one.
We're kidding.
Hole
In
in
a
one.
playoff?
In a playoff to win. It was for second place, but it was
So
still
what?
yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was.
That guy's
it was,
gonna dream of that the rest of his
It
life.
was really cool. It was a great. I mean, that place just went nuts. You really hear the crowd. And it really messes with your head because golf courses are supposed to be quiet.
Right.
Yeah. So it was.
not on Caddyshack.
Man, good. But it was a cool thing, man. It was really fun.
And Pete, that to me is the point here. When we get to the end of the spring season and the big time performances we see, I know that Faith Escobar is never going to forget the back-to-back home runs against San Benito, especially because, like I said, those 2 teams hate each other.
Yeah.
Man, the first pitch, he hit that first home run. Jack, it was a line drive. You could have hung your laundry on it, man. It's been a great year. Those kids, hey, they've had their deep runs. They've had their championships. And they're just not going to have to deal with it. They both went out in the second round.
That's what it is, man.
That's it.
That is it.
And that is it for us. Next week we're going to have a few teams to really focus on. We're going to talk a lot more football. Who knows what else will come up.
Maybe a little bit of track.
Ah, well, indeed.
Yeah.
This weekend,
we'll
right?
See what happens this weekend.
Come on, LB Leah Brown. Let's do it. She's got to get that one gal who beat her in those hurdles races. She's got to give her the elbow, and let's get in front of her, man. The whole valley will be rooting for Leah Brown. May she perform to the best of her capabilities, and may you be here next week to hear the news. We're out.